My name is Matthew Yarofalmal. I am from the island of Feshailap in the Yap State. How I look at the changes of our culture, what made the changes? Well, as anyone can see, and as anyone may know, that no one can hold back changes, regardless of your ranks in the community or your callings as whatever. Like I said, no one can hold back the changes. It is us, individually, and as a part of a group, and as part of the island group and community, to make the proper adaptation, to be able to move along happily in the changes that are taking place around us. First, before we were introduced to only one religion, and that was the Roman Catholic. Take a look around you nowadays. How many of us belong to other denominations or religions aside from Catholic? Right offhand, I can count 4 or 5 other denominations besides Roman Catholic that I know and I see people of Feshailap turning to. That has some significant part in changing our cultures. I'm not against having people choose what religion to follow. Not at all. In fact, I wish and I hope that with the differences in doctrine, if there's any, in principles and ordinances of each of these different religions, that we as Feshailap Islanders come together and share the positive and good things from each of the different religions that each one of us belong to, and find ways that we make the differences work for us instead of have them work against us. I'm almost positive that by accepting other people's faith and respecting what they believe in would reveal to us good fruits of our different religions. As I hear most of the time declared by quite a few people aside from the people of Feshailap, saying, why should we just join one church? Aren't we praying to the same God? Of course, we may be praying to the same God, but not following the principles and ordinances commanded by God. These are some of the differences that we have that put walls between us in not accepting others as to their belief. Apart from that, I want to say that part of it is our education. Look at how many people from Feshailap have gone to colleges. How many have graduated with degrees? Making comparison to the yesteryears of 1990s and back. We've heard great announcements about the accomplishments of our young men and young women acquiring their degrees in their pursuit of a higher education. These are great achievements. And again, these are the cause of the changes in our culture that we cannot hold back. But we should not forget, a tree, when you plant it young, it was only the sprouting part that you could see from the seed. You won't see the roots. So in nurturing the seed, you will find a good soil place and a place of good environment, meaning you know that the sunshine will come upon it, and you know that strong wind won't destroy it, and you know it will be nourished by rich soil. Plant the seed. Before you know it, you sleep nights and days. One time you come around, you see the green leaves started forming. You don't see only the point of the sprouting part of the plant, but you started seeing leaves being formed. Maybe you counted 3 or 4 leaves on that first visit. Coming around to it, you test the plant, the young plant. Shake it a little bit, kind of trying to weed it up. You feel the pressure that roots are being taken place in the soil. I'm using the seed and the sprouting a portion of its life and the formation of its leaves to our culture. That cultures are being cultivated, nourished, and used for the welfare for any given society. When you are part of the culture, you take part in it and you are proud of it and you feel happy that you're part of it. In turn, the result or the fruit of the culture plays its role in your life as a community member. And now, when I've reached this far, it clicks in my head about government. You know, you hear from even older people nowadays talk about government. This is not new to us. Government was with us ever since. Except it's a different form of government. In our local government, as I grew up and as I came to learn of it from the elders of my time, it was no different than the Western government that we started following. The local government was set up to maintain peace and to help the needy. I don't mention poor because I did not believe in poor. As the island life, poor has a different meaning than nowadays. When you say poor in the island life, when I grew up, it doesn't mean you don't have money. It only means you're lacking what you need. But it doesn't mean you don't have them. But just because you're not able, probably because of your sickness, maybe because of your age, that you could not go fetch the things for yourselves. So, therefore, you're considered poor. And especially if you don't have children to get the things for you, then you are considered poor. But technically, you're not poor. You're just not able to go fetch the things on your own, or have somebody fetch the things for you whenever you need them, or you need it. And so, like I said, the government is not new to us. In local government, we have what they call high clans or families that oversee the welfare of all the population of the island to make sure no one is out of line. And when I say out of line, meaning that things that are enjoyed by the population is not shared to all. They should make it sure that when someone goes out fishing, comes back with a good catch, that particular person or group or family is not left out from getting a distribution from the catch. I can tell a story of mine when I started growing up. We used to go out fishing in small canoes. One or two boys on a canoe. We go out fishing at night. Good nights, you come back with good catch. And when you look into your canoe and see the number of fish in your canoe, you feel happy. Now, you don't feel happy because you know you're going to feed your brothers or sisters, aunties and uncles, or mom and dad. No, you feel happy because you know you'll be feeding the island from one side of the island to the other. that that makes a person with a good catch happy. Meaning you don't just think about your family, but the whole island. When you don't catch that many, you come in. When you put up your canoe on land, you don't just go and fetch your basket, fill it up with your catch, and go home. You wait for the elders to say something. Whether they'll say, okay, there are only a few cats. Here are the houses with babies and with old people. Let's divide the fish up and make sure that the infant and the elderly are being fed with fish. That makes me proud. That makes me feel like going back again and again and again, going out fishing. At times, I disregard the weather because of that special feeling in me. It makes me feel proud that I am an islander provider. I always was a proud man or young man during that time, and I still believe that I haven't lost that. And I believe that has changed, sadly, but it doesn't mean it cannot be made to be like how it was. I know we can make the changes to work for the betterment of taking care of the needy and the disabled. I feel strongly about that. And I know I can be a good contributor in making the change. I also know that I can be a good influence of making people understand the importance of sustaining and clinging on to the things that we have known that worked for the betterment and for the welfare of our communities, especially the population of our island. On Feshailap, you stay on one side of the island, you could close your eyes and name every single one of them. So I mean, it is that simple of regarding our culture, think positively about it, and live it. Are we against the changes of our culture? We shouldn't jump the gun and just say out loud, I disagree. I disagree with the changes. No, we should do our best to understand the changes first. How I look at it is to harvest the good fruit of the changes, to incorporate it or them into ours and leave them. When I say leave them, don't leave them behind and do away with them and to other things. But live a meaning, they come to be part of our lives. I believe that speaks mountains of what I believe in our culture and as an islander person, and how I see other people and how I perceive of their culture, their attitudes, and their ways. I will never disagree with one, not understanding him or her first. And my differences and disagreements with one, I wouldn't make that as a solid wall between us. Not coming to a point of understanding that when we part, both of us turn a different way with a smile on our faces. Knowing and understanding that, okay, so we are different, we're from different countries, different places, but yet respect each other's way of life and culture, and we can live with them happily with our own way of life and with our own experiences. At least that's how I look at it.